The Jungle Book, I think, is an important movie. It's the last movie helmed by Walt Disney before he passed away, which shows it has a lot of his penchants for movies, what he really likes. And along with Snow White, Cinderella, and possibly Pinocchio and Dumbo, there are a few films like The Jungle Book that I would view as important films to the company's history, as not just are these financial wins, but they showcase exactly what makes Disney, well, Disney. So, coming into this movie, knowing how they've handled other live-action remakes, I was apprehensive at best, but fortunately, this was actually pretty good.
I want to be like you. I want to walk like you, talk like you too. You'll see it's true.
Okay, it wasn't perfect, but there felt like there was a real intent to tell something meaningful, and I think it was because of the nature of the original itself. Looking at other remakes in the past, you get the feeling that there's an attempt to really expand on some ideas while not really getting how expanding on some ideas can mess with the overall product, for good or ill. Maleficent often avoids this by overhauling the movie to be about its biggest character, Maleficent, pretty much repeating the same problem, though its other characters just matter less. And Cinderella just totally fails to avoid it and just makes it worse by expanding on the world itself, which pokes more holes in the logic. For example, we never needed to know that there were other people in the movie who said Cinderella could live with them instead of living with a horrible family. We didn't need to know that Cinderella is actually a really sort of dark joke about her living conditions. We didn't need to know that. And Peach Dragon, of course, decides to put you to sleep by sacrificing what few character moments the original had in favor of a more CGI-looking dragon and a really lazy plot that was more common in 80s and 90s films about, greedy dudes who want to exploit beautiful animals for money. That's sort of it. The Jungle Book decides to do a little bit of all three, really, and maybe that's what helped it. We fleshed out characters like Shere Khan and Mowgli's mother, and at the same time we cut down on things like Khan and King Louie, we revamped things like the elephants, and we removed things like the vultures, and of course the ending, which is very different. And there was one thing I would say that does set it apart from the original. It would be how they both approach the world itself. So, in the original, the Jungle Book is a jungle sort of in name only. I mean, it looks like a jungle, but it has all this extra space to it, which looks great, but you sort of get the idea that it's for those musical numbers. Everything is for that, and it's great because of it. Those musical numbers are great. It's some of, I think, the best Disney's ever done. I mean, before Hakuna Matata, there was the Bare Necessities, and I think the Bare Necessities is better. There's also more of an emphasis on lore, the laws, traditions, and customs in the live-action one, like using the Law of the Wolves from Kipling's work. I think really helps solidify how this location feels. This place feels somewhere that's lived in. It's sort of, I would call it the Game of Thrones treatment, and not just because Blue actually does say winter is coming. Actually, speaking of, if there was one performance I would say totally surprised me, it was Bill Murray's. So, the last time I remember Bill Murray doing voice work was for Garfield, and I didn't like Garfield. I just didn't. But here, I think it's because Baloo is a bit more in line with Bill Murray's character. And also, if you think about Baloo as a character in the original, played by Phil Harris, and Phil Harris did such a great job that the company got him to reprise the role as both Little John and O'Malley the Alley Cat. As a matter of fact, it's interesting to note that Phil Harris is one of the few voice actors in Disney whose character pretty much starts the movie the same way, walking in musically. But Baloo's role in the animated one is that of a fun big brother. He's a lazy big brother who sort of has to realize, hey, I have to put Mowgli's needs before my own, as much as I do love Mowgli. Here, Baloo's kind of a shyster, but he's a well-meaning shyster. He tricks Mowgli into helping him, but he has his own sort of arc go through, like his fear of heights, and he's sort of indifferent to where Mowgli goes, in the sense that, yeah, Mowgli can get me honey, but I'm really good on honey. He's a good kid. I like to hang out with him, but he's also willing to sort of be the bad guy a bit, in a way that Phil Harris's Baloo wasn't. And I think that's really the starkest contrast to me between the two versions, is the approach to Baloo. Granted, the approach to King Louie is weird, but you put Christopher Walken in the role, what'd you get? What did you expect? What did you expect? This movie isn't without its problems, Christopher Walken aside. It's weird that Shere Khan has a more clear motivation without having a more clear motivation. In the original, Bagheera gives us the reason why. He fears man's gun and man's fire. And this remake, the explanation is it's the law. Man can't be here. But he's also seems like he really enjoys it. Like he really is going to enjoy killing Mowgli. And we know from this movie that we get sort of what happened to Mowgli's parents, or at least his dad. In the original draft, or at least one of the original intentions or storylines for Shere Khan in the animated one was, and I'm not sure if it's in Kipling's book. I need to read The Jungle Book by Kipling, actually. I should probably do that. Shere Khan hates man because man killed his mother. That was it. It's a great idea to explain what his hatred is for. Overall, though, this might be the best live-action remake so far. Granted, we still have one more I haven't seen. For all intents and purposes, two more. We still have those to get through. But overall, The Jungle Book is just solid. It's not really amazing. It doesn't reinvent the wheel. But had this been the first live-action remake of this, proper list, not like something like Alice in Wonderland, which is just not really a retelling. It's not really a remake. It's a continuation. Same with Through the Looking Glass. And same with that. I would say this would be like, this is a step in the right direction. It's got some wrinkles in it, some cracks in it, but we can fix that later. I think we'd have had a really great start. And then be disappointed. So anyway, with that in mind, we'll bring this video to a close here. What did you guys think of The Jungle Book? Did you like it? Did you hate it? Did you like Mowgli's being able to just make something for everything? Did you like the elephants are pretty much gods of the jungle? Leave your thoughts down in the comments section. I'll catch you all later. This is Bug Think Tank signing off. Thanks for watching, and as always, may your fandom serve you well.